What's going on, guys? Welcome to our preview for Shadowbringers, the upcoming expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, which is an MMO, in case you don't know. We're going to be talking about the upcoming expansion coming out next Tuesday, but if you've pre-ordered, you'll be able to play it this Friday. We're going to be going through some videos, find out what's new in the expansion, get you guys maybe excited for those of you who do play it, and for those of you who do not play it, maybe get you to join us on Coral, join our free company. Is that what they're called? I play the game, I swear. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Before we get into all that, real quick, because we are not doing a taste cast because we already did one earlier this week, so make sure to check that out if you want that content. But make sure to download and play Sonic Mania and Borderlands Handsome Collection. Download those, come back at the end of the month after you've played them, and join us for Plus Club. Let us know what you thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of those games on our Game of the Month. Not randomly picked. Chris picked it. Path of Exile. It's free to play, so you can play it pretty much on everything, and you'll probably enjoy it. And then come back, talk to us on Game of the Month. We also have Discord link down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. And we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you'd prefer to listen to us. Also, two things. We are playing around with the idea of potentially doing a tabletop show that will not be scheduled. Let us know in the comments if that sounds interesting to you, whether it's pen and paper, or tabletop games. We're thinking about all of it. Thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. And if there's any games that you think we should be playing, if we did do that, let us know in the comments as well. Also, I had something else I was going to say, and I completely...
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer as well when it comes to this topic. None of us are pretending to be experts on Final Fantasy XIV, so if there's something that we get wrong, let us know in the comments, inform us, and we can talk about it. And if there's something we missed, something that you're excited about in 14 or Shadowbringers that we don't cover, let us know. We can go back and talk about it as well. There was some other thing I was going to talk about as well, and I forgot what the fuck it was. Oh well. Okay, so yeah, Shadowbringers is coming out very soon. I got a chance to play a little bit at E3. That got me kind of excited to play Final Fantasy XIV again, which I have been doing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But run us through what is Shadowbringers, how much is it, when is it coming out? I kind of already covered that, and what can we expect simply? Just educate me. Let me know. I don't know. I'm a noob.
So you mentioned earlier that...
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, go ahead.
We just put these pop filters in. If this bothers you, if we got enough people who hate this, let us know. We'll take them down. We're experimenting.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know why this popped up as soon as you start talking. And I was like, eureka. Anyway, that would have driven me nuts the rest of the fucking episode. Anyway, please continue.
Yeah, so like you kind of brought up earlier, the early access for it, if you have pre-ordered the game, or the expansion, I should say, is Friday, June 28th. And if you are not into pre-ordering, which is completely understandable, and you just want to play at launch, the launch is Tuesday, July 2nd. And I do believe that is... I don't know what time that is, so depending on your part of the world, that could be different. You'll just want to go to the Shadowbringers website or Amazon or something like that. I'm sure you'll be able to get the info there. I am choking on words, sorry. As far as cost of entry for it, it starts at $40 or $39.99 USD, and depending on how fancy you want to get, there are multiple tiers and multiple versions.
I like to get fancy.
The game is available on PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, and Steam is a separate version from just the PC version.
Is it?
Yes. So if you buy the game on Steam, you must buy every expansion on Steam and nowhere else. If you buy it on PS4, you may buy the expansions through the PlayStation Network or from Square Enix's store. You buy the PC version.
Do you still play on the same servers?
Yes.
Okay.
The client, though, is different.
Weird.
Yeah.
Is it on Xbox?
No.
Really?
The cross-play between Sony and Microsoft thing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah, so wherever you buy it, continue buying it there. Don't alternate. You will make a huge mistake if you buy the PC version from Square Enix's store and then you go to Steam and you buy the expansion, or vice versa. They are not compatible. So something I wish they would make easier, but they don't. So yeah, $39.99 with pre-order will get you an Aetheryte earring, which is just an accessory you get, which levels up with you starting from level 1 all the way till 71, and gives you 30% more EXP and stats according to whatever job you're playing and your level. So it is one piece of gear you don't have to think of think about for most of the game. And then you also get a minion, which is a little gremlin who is in the CG trailer laughing at the Warrior Light. If you caught that video, if not, I recommend watching it. It is not on our list today. Then there's collector's editions. This is the digital and version of it, which is $59.99, same platforms. And then if there's any left, first off, but if you can want, there is a physical edition for collector's edition that's $199.99. It comes with a minion of Fran from Final Fantasy XII. It comes with a mount, which I can't read the name on this tiny screen. 1 second. It comes with Squall's Gunblade as a cosmetic item for Gunbreaker, which is a new job, which I will cover in a second here in the expansion. I still can't get the name of the mount for some reason. There we go. Grani mount. I might be mispronouncing that, sorry. And you get a deck of playing cards in the physical version. You get a logo sticker cling, an art book, and a Dark Knight figurine from the game.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. And an art box.
So which one should I get? Because I want the earring.
I think for you, because I'm sure you want the mount as well.
Yes.
And you probably like the idea of the Gunblade, Squall's Gunblade.
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably get the digital collector's edition. It's $59.99.
Okay. Square better fucking pay us for this advertisement.
Yeah. This is not advertised.
Yeah, we are not being paid.
I would have a script at that point instead of just free doing it this way.
Here at Tasty Loot Gaming, we love Square Enix and think they are the leaders of MMOs and RPGs in the world.
Gross. So some quick details. Coming with the expansion, we get a new story. There's also an extension of the story. This is the third expansion in the MMO now. And with that was new zones, new dungeons, new challenges and stuff like that. And
then shit.
We get a new race. We get the Viera from Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII's Worlds as a female playable race, and we get the Hrothgar, which I believe are supposed to be influenced from Final Fantasy X's Ronzo.
Ronzos, yep.
Yeah. And they're male only. We're also getting 2 new jobs. Gunbreaker, which is a tank, uses a gunblade, and then go ahead, sorry.
I keep wanting to say it looks cool, but I don't know what the fuck they do. I just keep hearing gunblade. I'm like, fuck yes.
You're just like, I love everything about that. I don't know what it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, it's a tank. I'm like, that's cool. That's weird, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Gunblade.
The combat stance is very much.
I love it. Yes.
And then Dancer is the other job, which is a ranged
awesome.
physical job with support.
Yeah.
They use 2 chakrams. Correct my English, please. And
putting a lot on Chevy's shoulders.
Yeah.
Chris, feel free to back him up
for sure.
You look great.
Yeah, and then they do essentially dances to add benefits to the party by doing essentially a version of the game Simon, if you're familiar, where you follow the color combos.
So range DPS and support, but you kind of told me that most of the range DPS in the game is support.
They're borderline. They do a little support as well.
Yeah.
For sure. Dancer is just going to be extra supporty compared to the other 2.
Because I know a lot of people were almost expecting it to be something else.
Healer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's actually really neat that they went the route of not doing what's expected with it. Even with the Gunbreaker, just because you'd expect that just to be DPS. I would at least.
That's where my head goes too, but I also don't have enough information on Final Fantasy VIII to compare it.
Sure.
So.
But when I think of a gunblade, I think of a fucking person swinging a sword and shooting someone from a distance.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like a tank to me, aside from maybe pulling enemies by shooting them, which is kind of cool. So that's really interesting, but I do like that they kind of pushed the boundaries and went, you know what, let's give tanks some love, let's give range DPS, let's get another one in there, but still add that support that you would maybe expect from someone who would, like, a bard or something, a dancer of some kind in a game. I want to remind people, I am the least experienced when it comes to Final Fantasy 14, so I'm just throwing words out there, and you're like, there's already a bard, something like that. Yeah, it's cool. I think what they've done with the classes, the ones they're adding, is really cool. 2 questions I want to ask both of you, unless you have more to add.
That's pretty much just a general summary. I know it was pretty long, but I mean, MMOs are big games, so.
For sure, yeah. That's why I was like, take it away, Chevy, but no pressure. Fucking, there's a lot that they're adding, and I have no idea. I know basics, So when it comes to the 2 new classes, is there either of those that you're interested or definitely going to play? I'm sure you guys will dabble in them.
I'm interested in both. I think Dancer looks fun. And I think the entire community, not to speak for the entire community, but from what I've seen online, polls, just people talking, I think Dancer is going to be very popular initially.
Yeah.
And if it's fun, continue.
As an outsider of the game, but someone who's played off and on for years, that is... When I saw the gameplay of the Dancer, I was like, oh, that's really cool looking. I really like the animations.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the trailer they did that was like a minute long was neat enough. And just the idea of that being, fighting from a distance with the chakrams was a cool idea. So that is something I'd like to see more on the Gunbreaker, because apparently I just haven't seen much on it. I started Gunblade, I'm like, I'm sold.
Yeah, the Gunbreaker does a lot of moves where you are using ammo to empower your moves and stuff like that. So
okay,
and you can also like throw moves at people and stuff like that too. So
that is cool.
We're gonna watch a job action trailer at some point. There's no descriptions in any of this. I am going to emphasize that any information, if you want deep dive information, I'm going to give some free promo to the guy. But Mr. Happy has done a really good job of breaking down every new change coming to every single job. So
this is purely a conversation episode on what's upcoming and our hype level of it.
Yeah.
And the reason we're being careful too is because with games like this, there's typically hardcore fans that might be looking for something particular,
super passionate,
and I don't want to lead you on to something like this. Is literally just us talking.
So. Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And if
you're excited, man, join the conversation.
This is definitely more of like the casual talk of Final Fantasy. Yeah. So if you're like kind of interested or you're already interested, you're just here to hang out with us essentially. So if you want information, there are people who are definitely equipped for that better. So.
Yeah. But for anybody who doesn't play the game and listening to us talking about it and curious about it, obviously we're gonna talk about it. So.
Yeah.
So you're interested in Dancer
more so than the Gunbreaker.
Gunbreaker.
Yeah. But I am probably gonna hold off on both initially. Just because I know there's going to be a lot of them right off the bat.
Yeah,
so I
100%.
I just kind of want to go through the story.
I already jokingly said earlier, but it's definitely going to be fucking Bunny World Online.
Bunny dancers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, when it comes to those classes, any interest in either of them, both of them, or one you're definitely going to play over the other one?
Both of them for sure I'm interested in, but I play a lot of tank as it is. It's pretty much my primary role, so I'm interested to see a new tank and see what they can do. But the Dancer I'm really interested in because I really like support style classes, and from what I've heard, this is going to be of the range DPS, probably the lowest in like damage, but the most in versatility of what they offer to a party. So like the buffs, and they offer apparently they offer healing as well, very minimal healing, but just enough to kind of carry the group through a little bit here and there.
So they almost seem like a jack of all trades.
Yeah, they kind of sound like that from what I've heard.
Like Red Mage.
Yeah,
kind of like Red Mage. And I think that early on you're going to get a lot of people hyped to play Dancer because it's a newer job and people have always liked dancers. But I think it's going to have a big fall off because, again, it's more support focused than the other ranged DPS is.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you going to try? I'm sure you will, but so you're more excited for Gunbreaker then, just because it's more of.
See what other tank can do.
Yeah.
Sure.
How many tanks are there?
This will be the fourth.
This will be the fourth one.
Okay. What are the other 3?
Warrior, Paladin, Dark Knight.
Okay. Cool. And Warrior, Paladin, Dark Knight all kind of have that medieval fantasy thing to them. So it's kind of cool they're adding something different to that. So
actually, with Warrior they went very berserker like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Paladin is what you think it is, and Dark Knight is what you think it is. But yeah, Warrior was a nice surprise because I would expect another just two-handed plate mail guy, and
that's what
they're wearing
in my head I was thinking
furs and like skimpy clothing, and they just swing wildly. So.
Which I think would work with like how the Rothgar look.
Oh, absolutely.
They look really cool.
Yeah, really good aesthetic. I also saw some stuff of them being like monks, which looks really cool too because they're real big, So I think a lot of things can fit monk pretty well though. So
definitely, I kind of miss my monk. I've only been gone for a little bit, but. I'm like, oh man, I miss just doing fucking cartwheels and backflips and shit.
Play ninja.
We will. Yeah, I'd be curious. This is the first time I've actually moved over to a different class, so it's weird that I played this game for this long and only played pretty much one class, aside from Pugilist, I guess. Technically.
It's Monk.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby monk.
Yeah. I've played Baby Monk and Monk pretty much. So real quick, I'm playing a Catboy, the Makode.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys playing right now?
I play a
Obviously, you can switch anytime.
female aura. Once again, pronunciation. I'm sorry.
Is that the dragon?
Draconic people,
Yeah. And then Chris, you're playing.
I'm lightning.
He's a female human.
Okay.
Yeah. Or hume.
The reason I ask is just to give people insight, but also, are you interested in possibly changing over to one of the 2 new races coming?
Tempted, yes, but I actually really like my character, so probably not.
That's the thing I keep running into is I actually really like the way my guy looks constantly. Whenever I change his outfit or whatever, I still like the way he looks. So I kind of nailed that because sometimes I'll play a character in a game for a while, and after a while I'm like kind of bored with the way my dude looks. But you know, if I was gonna pick one of the 2, I'd probably pick Vera. But I know everybody else is gonna fucking play those because they're really cool looking and something people have really wanted. But at the same time, I kind of want to get that. You said there's like that. Program you can download and check out.
It's the benchmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to download that and check that out because I am interested also in the Rothgar. I know some people are not stoked about it. Some people are definitely stoked for it.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that one's going to get a lot less action at first than Vera, just because when those come out, that's going to be the one everybody's going to want to snatch up, which is cool. But because right now you said like the cat people are the most popular, which would make sense.
I think there's a website that does is a census, and I think female Makote are the most played race out of active players right now.
That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense to me completely. But I think the Rothgar look cool, and I welcome. We've talked about this in prior episodes, but Final Fantasy lacks any kind of big savage type race. You know, the only thing they have other than that is the Rogadan.
Rogadan, yeah.
Who, you know, I kind of blindly guessed my way into guessing correctly that they're very scholarly looking, very proud, very stand up straight, but they're the biggest class in the game. They're the ones you would probably pick if you wanted, like, you know, you like your buff characters, your big characters.
Yeah.
And Rothgar, I think, offers something more to what somebody looking for something like that. Something I always bring up, Josh, I think, would play, because Josh likes to play big buff fucking I'm gonna beat the shit out of everybody type characters, and I think that's right up his alley. And I'm kind of curious on maybe trying them out, so I'd like to see the customization options. Plus they're the newest of the races, so they're gonna probably look really good. Yeah. Which it's very appealing to me because I'm like, ooh, new graphics, new assets. But yeah, so you said that you're kind of like, Chris.
I'm not switching, so.
I've been contemplating it, but I probably won't switch. If I switch anything, I'll switch to a hero male instead of a hero female. But the newer races I probably won't touch for a while, if at all.
Yeah, it makes sense. I have the thing of Fantasia, what the fuck's called, from something. It's just in my inventory.
Beating the game.
Yeah.
The original 2.0.
Yeah. So I'm tempted to use it just because I have it. Fucking use it or lose it type thing. No, I'm not gonna lose it.
You can store it.
Yeah.
Use it anytime.
But I'm curious. I do feel like just because I'm that asshole who goes against the grain, I'm like, oh, everybody's gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that kind of fucking thing. That I kind of want to check out the Rothgar, just because. So obviously, plenty of people are gonna play.
So I have the benchmark installed on my computer, and I have made 2 Viera, 2 Rothgar, because every race has 2 clans essentially, which does have, it's a light and dark version essentially.
Yeah.
And I was able to make a Hrothgar I really liked, which is neat, because when I originally saw the Hrothgar, I was not interested in them at all.
Yeah.
With the trailer they presented for them.
It was kind of grainy looking too, and the music was very off-putting.
But after making one, I was able to make one I really like. So
yeah, that's good to hear though, because I think I was probably the most sold out of us 3 on that, and I also agree that I don't think they really showed it off as well as they could have. I think they did a way better job with everything else they've shown. Yeah, it was really fucking dark, and the quality wasn't that great. So it's like, it's a weird way to show this off. It's like, oh, look at this thing. Oh, I barely got to look around. That's fine. You don't really need to see it. But yeah, Yeah, looks pretty cool, pretty exciting. Although I'm more so excited for the classes. So, and I need to download that program because that will give me a definitive opinion on if I want to switch or not. Because I really like the way my guy looks.
Yeah, you get the whole character creator, so you can make both races. So.
And you said you can put them in a benchmark and watch
them play as a Dark Knight through it. Yeah, you can even pick their armor and stuff.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah. So, is there anything else we want to talk about? You bought the special amazing fancy version. Are you excited for that?
Yes, I'm very excited for it. The figure that comes with it is very cool looking. I hope it looks just as good in person. So.
Yeah. Off topic, but not quite fully off topic. Final Fantasy VII's fucking first whatever the hell edition. It's like $350. Yeah. I really want that.
Me too. But by the time I have the money, I think it'll probably be sold out.
We get paid Friday.
Fuck it. I got other things I
money.
have to do, but yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking at that. I'm like, God, that's fucking dope. But most of the money you're spending on that is the figurine.
100%.
It's crazy. Because I was watching a video kind of comparing the two higher priced ones, and pretty much all of the differences. And one's like, I think the other one's like $100 or $80, something like that.
Probably 80, I would guess.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. And then that one is 300 something. I'm like, how big is that fucking thing?
Yeah, Square's figures are very expensive.
I think I saw it at E3.
Probably.
It was pretty
you saw
big.
the watches, and then they put them up for sale later. By the way, $2,500.
How can you put a price on fashion like that, man? If you're a Final Fantasy fan.
A Cloud version and a Sephiroth version.
Get both. Wear them both. Look really dumb.
And advertise, they're like, I got expendable income. Take it from me.
Rob me.
Note, on Final Fantasy VII, I read somewhere that if you pre-order right now the digital versions, you get Cloud and Sephiroth theme for your PS4.
Ooh.
Man, I'm not a fan of pre-ordering, but that's pretty tempting. Sick. As I pre-ordered Shadowbringers, I did that strictly to get in 3 days early though.
Yeah.
And I wanted the figure, obviously, but
yeah. If I buy that thing, the one with the earring and shit, that would people who are really, really into this are like, it's a fucking blah blah blah. Figure it out. I'll get early access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get a code that lets you get an early access, but in order to still play on the 2nd, on Tuesday, the launch day, you have to put in the actual registration key, which I'm hoping I get my version in the mail on time then, because I'm gonna be really upset if Tuesday comes around and like something happens in transit and I don't get my code.
Yeah, that'd be upsetting.
I'd be pretty tempted to just go buy a code real quick, which I don't want to spend an extra $40, but I would hate to not be able to log in anymore until I get that. So,
not quite the same, but when I bought the Monster Hunter World PS4 Pro, it was gonna show up day of release, but if you bought it digitally, you got to play it that night.
Yeah.
So I bought it digitally, and then my PS4 came in the next day. So I get it, kind of like I'm like, I want to play this right now. So
I've never actually bought anything out of the Square Enix store, so I don't know how good they are about shipping things. So I really hope they are.
I see so much coul shit in there, and I'm like, I don't want to order from not Amazon or something because I know it'll show up. Yeah. Also, real quick, for anyone who doesn't know, Amazon's got that black chocobo thing going on.
If you spend $19.99 or more on gaming-related items that qualify, and it will say in the item description, it'll say black chocobo DLC, which is funny they call it DLC, but I guess technically
it's technically downloadable content.
You get a code within 48 hours, so be patient.
It did almost take 2 days for me.
Yeah, me too. But you get a code that gives you a fat black chocobo that wears a little crown.
Yeah, he's got a crown. I mentioned that. I was like, oh, I didn't notice that. First thing I saw, I was like, that fat chocobo has a fucking crown on.
And it's a free mount, which...
He's cool. He's fat, though.
The tip I would give, if you need some game time for 14, just buy the 2-month game time card like you did, or digital code. It counts.
That's literally the reason I'm playing right now. It's because that fat chocobo. I was like, better get that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I got 2 months.
That's the smartest way to do it. I bought a game for my Switch because I wanted to pick it up anyway, so it kind of just gave me an excuse. So, Wargroove, yeah.
which is
hard.
It is very hard. I think it is cross-platform though.
Is it?
Because I have it on PC, and I was like, fuck, I gotta buy it for Switch now. But
yeah, I ran into a mission that really pushed me. So
yeah, no, there's that game gets hard as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was doing really good, also I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
let's get back to Final Fantasy. I just wanted to make sure people knew about the Amazon thing. This is just the Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers fucking discussion. So
and it's tasty bit, so no format.
Trying to hook you guys up. Yeah, so we got 4 videos. I'll let you know what we're going to watch. So you know, before we get into it, we're going to be watching the Shadowbringers benchmark trailer, which I am told is gameplay of the game.
Assets from in the game, not gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's going to be showing us stuff. Then we got the Shadowbringers Dungeon Crawl, which I believe shows new dungeons.
Previews of the dungeons. Not all of them, some of them.
Then we got Mr. Happy. Shout out to Mr. Happy. Go check out his channel. Talking about the new trust system that is coming, which is a new feature. Mm-hmm. So it'll be very educational for people like me who do not know shit about this. And then lastly, we will be watching the job actions video for Shadowbringers, which will be showing changes in the jobs. And specifically, my job, I just acquired Machinist, which I'm playing right now, and I will not have access to that class ever again because they are changing almost 100%.
Yeah, that one's getting nuked.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up, too, with the job actions trailer, it is a visual trailer. There's no information. I want to emphasize again that there are people who have played these jobs at a media tour.
We're just going to talk about it.
Yeah, and we're just going to get to look at the visuals and go, oh, that looks really neat. But
it's going to be 4 minutes, 5 minutes of me just going, ooh, that's cool, ooh, that's cool, ooh, that's cool.
15 minutes of that.
So if you need that affirmation, if you need to just have someone back you up on how cool this looks, I'm your man. Yeah. Before we get out real quick, I've been playing primarily Monk since my beginning career in Final Fantasy 14. Recently, I spent all my weekend, the whole fucking thing. From Friday morning, I went to work, obviously. Came back home, played all of Saturday from 1 p.m. to about 3 a.m. Up until today when we're filming. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 because I got my subscription back. I'm like, I should play. Everybody's like, yeah, get out of 2.0. 2.0. Just get out of that. It gets way better. It gets way better. Just keep going. And I did that, and it took me a long time to get there. Finally, I've gotten into Heaven's Ward.
Yo, I gotta jump in real quick. Sorry, he had done 2.0 last time he hopped in. Which, if you hear me throw this around and you don't play, that is the original game before they started adding content to it. And then usually what they do is they have a series of patches, which are referred to by number. So think of it as chapters in a book, and leading up to the expansion, the process got a lot smoother later. In the beginning, they were still figuring out their flow and what the expansions were going to be and stuff like that. So the hump, we'll call it, from 2.1 to 2.5 can, especially earlier in it, feel more like keeping you busy and less storytelling, and that's because that's what they were doing. They were keeping you busy at the time, and it has not translated well to today. So that is a hump that everyone has to get through unless you choose to buy your way through it. Totally your choice. But yeah,
We were not recording.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Anyway.
What?
We're fine. Yeah. It's fine. At this point in the video, you're going to start seeing Chris. He was not being recorded, and the audio should be better at this point. Anyway.
Wow.
Oh, that's fine. I just looked down. I'm like, where's the recording time at? So anyway, been playing Monk this whole time, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Finally got to the new section. Just got Machinist to start playing it, and from what I'm told so far, it's gonna be completely different. From what I've seen so far, it looks fucking awesome. So that's the reason why I picked it. It's not based off of what I'm playing now, but I had a similar experience with Final Fantasy 15, and that is I've been playing it and I've been enjoying it enough, but then I finally got to a point where I'm like, oh, this is actually really cool. And that's where there was this like 40-minute cutscene that I sat through, but it was really fucking cool. And anyone who plays the game knows there's that part at the very end of the whole original content right before you go to the next section that has a really cool sequence that sets up the next part of the next expansion. And I think that's the part where I finally kind of got like more energetic about wanting to progress through the game storyline wise, because before that I was just playing an MMO that's set up very differently than other MMOs, and it's fun or whatever. But you know, that video, that whole sequence, whatever, actually, like, I was like, wow, this is starting to feel like a Final Fantasy to me. This is starting to feel bigger storyline wise. So for anybody kind of, you know, still starting the game and playing through that, get to that point, and I feel like you might maybe have an experience similar to mine, because I'm feeling refreshed coming to a new area, zones I've never been to. And for anyone who plays the game a lot, you're like, oh, it was a while back. But for me, like, you know, it's cool to finally get to a part of the game where I'm like, oh shit, there's like a whole new horizon to this game now. I almost feel like I'm playing a new game now. It's interesting. So I'm looking forward to the changes they make with Machinist, which I will be, I think we'll be watching in the video. Correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, anything you guys want to add to your experience with the game? Obviously, you guys have been playing it for a long time. Or,
sorry, I'm still trying. The whole debacle there.
you fixed it before it was a major issue.
So I started the game pretty close to launch. I actually didn't pick it up at launch because I did participate in the original 1.0.
Yeah, it was awful.
During the beta of it, and I went, oh no, and I didn't want to play. And so when they took it down and then decided to rebuild it and make 2.0, I was a little interested, but I was also still hesitant. And then I heard people say it's really good, so I did start playing pretty early, and off and on throughout the years. This has probably been my longest stint of playing it.
Yeah, it's my fault too.
So yeah,
because I was like, it's game of the month.
and so
It's been game of the month.
something they changed during Stormblood was enough to keep me like constantly at attention with the game. But I played Dragoon as my main through the A Realm Reborn story and the Heavensward story, and then when Stormblood came out, I switched to Samurai. It's because I played it in Final Fantasy 11 and I wanted to try it out in 14 as well. They are not very similar, but it is still very fun. And then as far as like other jobs, I have played to max levels of content in A Realm Reborn. I think I only had Dragoon, but in Heavensward I maxed out Summoner as well, so I had experience that. And in Stormblood I have White Mage now. So those are what I know. Everything else I like, you were asking me a question about Machinist. I was like, I have no idea. Sorry.
All I know is kicking and punching.
Yeah, and Monk I don't know either. So you pick two jobs. I'm like, I can like look it up for you, but no experience. So
Anything you want to add, Chris?
I have experience in class in every type of role.
yeah,
I've
I've
170
dabbled
in
as well.
each, except for ranged melee DPS is the only one I don't have maxed yet.
Oh,
But
right.
I've got enough experience in
You've
everything.
been all over the place.
I
You
got
get
70
around.
tank, 70 healer, 70 caster, 70 melee DPS.
Nice. What's that like, being an expert?
No, I'm not an expert.
Being the
but
best.
He does have to remember things more than I do, though, because being a tank, you do need to like have some retained information. So
No, you
Understanding
go
mechanics.
play with some random people at a big ass convention, and you just pick up tank and beat Titania easily.
I mean, you could just be the really simple tank and just sit there and like, I got threat in this one. Mechanics or whatever, you guys deal with it. I'm standing here holding threat.
I'm just so happy when I see a tank just hold threat and pull threat the way they're supposed to. It's so nice.
or get healed.
Oh yeah, when I get healed, when I get hit, it's so nice. Or if I get killed and I get rezzed pretty quick, I'm like, oh nice. I'm glad they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Because every once in a while you play someone and they're just like, well, I don't know what's going on back there. I'm looking over here.
Hey, look at this thing over there. That's
They're like,
shiny.
hey, do you know your kid's out in the street? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
he'll be
looking over
fine.
here. All right, so let's jump into the video. First one is benchmark trailer. Yeah, let's do it. You ready, Chris?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. And I haven't seen any of these, I don't think. I saw a little bit of the job one, but only
Yeah.
specific classes she was showing me. Jobs. Yeah, no.
Laptop is not happy.
It's Derplander. That's what they call him, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, we're having issues. We're gonna restart
Restart
Chris.
the video, yeah.
Okay.
Bump everything down to 720.
Laptop is pissed.
Piast.
All right, Chris, are you ready again?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, just give me 1 second. And all right, 3, 2, 1, and go.
That already seems a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I won't be discussing too much story stuff because it is.
Yeah, I don't want to do spoilers. Although, if you'd like us to talk about spoiler shit, let us know in the comments.
Or you can find us in the Discord.
Or you can find us in Discord. Or you can join our fucking free company, which I think is JC Luke Gaming.
Yep.
On Coral.
Which is on the new data center, which I'm struggling to remember the name of. Crystal?
I think it's Crystal.
Yeah, it is.
So that's the mount you get with the collector's edition.
It's so weird looking.
Cool.
And the environments are gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
They
I love the
are.
colors.
There's
That's
the
what my hair looked like for a little bit.
Crystal Tower.
That's pretty cool. I like the imagery
Oh, yeah.
of this expansion.
Yeah, me too. Fun little note: this area was what either was or was supposed to be in 1.0.
Oh really?
And yeah, so it didn't really get utilized, and now they've remade it essentially to fit this.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Hopefully they've made adjustments that are more modern to the game and not the old designs of cities that were really fucking annoying to walk through in the original game.
It's a war.
Chonky boys.
Oh yeah.
Him chonk.
If you're paying a close attention to a lot of this, you'll catch a lot of new stuff. It would take me a long time to do a breakdown. I'm sure someone has done it already, though. Also, I love this song.
Is that a machinist?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The cowboy hat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Kid Rock? Rock.
Here comes Derplander. As a term used for the Warrior of Light or your character as presented in the trailers.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't do that in game. That'd be a great way to start combat.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that what's his nuts?
No, that's Alice.
Oh, okay.
I have that move.
Yes, you do. Showing off some of the underwater stuff.
Was it underwater areas?
Yeah, as of was that Stormblood that did that, or was that
I
Covenant's
believe
Ward?
so.
I can't remember where they added it. Yeah, there's
I think it's
spearfishing.
Stormblood.
Yeah, I think it's Stormblood as well, but I don't quote me on that.
Oh, God.
Fairies.
And obviously, it's all cluttered and designed this way because it's a benchmark.
Those people were, yeah, for
So
sure.
those little short guys, those are called, I believe they're called Nomu, and they first appeared from what I recall in Final Fantasy Tactics,
Yeah, I recognize
Advanced?
them.
I think they're one of the new beast tribes.
and they were
What was the little
specifically,
fucking
like,
fat
casters.
flying thing?
There's like a little pig thing that's flying around.
Oh, it's a minion.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people commented on that when this got released. They're like, I want that minion.
Well, every minion I see, I'm like, oh.
I hate their mounts.
The chocobos, or their variation of chocobos, they're very
Yeah, I
weird
hate
looking.
them.
You've been in there.
I've been in there?
Yes, you have.
You fought her at E3.
Oh, yeah. I did.
I'm assuming that's
Got
where
my
she
ass
is.
kicked. Because we had 4 people in our fucking 8-man party who had never played the game
See,
before.
those chocobos got 4 wings.
That's weird.
There she is.
Hey there, pretty lady.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I was like, I don't remember fighting her indoors, but it transforms into an outdoor area while you're fighting her.
Well, and also, objects are not placed in the right spots intentionally in the benchmarks.
Okay. Yeah, because when I fought her, like, the environment changed.
It's a square arena as well instead of a circle. Her actual fight.
This looks good.
Oh, yeah. Some dancer action going. Gunbreaker.
This looks way better than the fucking early content.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
That's Phoenix. It's the new summon you get.
Yep. You know, Chevy, that they're all wearing their AF gear.
I did not notice that, but yeah, that's cool. I should probably watch this on my TV so I can actually get a good look. That's a cool variation of the song. That's the limit break for Dancer.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Range DPS is a straight line one. So, and then depending on your job, the level 3 one will be specific to you. So, so yeah, that's the benchmark. So that is assets from the game in random places and orders and stuff to essentially test your PC to see if it can run the game.
Which makes sense, but they still showed off
Stuff.
just stuff in general, yeah. And it was also cool to see like a lot of moves and like different classes and stuff. I keep calling it classes. I know it's jobs. But I'm gonna bring out it. Fucking goddamn it.
I hate classes.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool though. It's neat to see a lot of that in action. Also thought, you know, a lot of the scenarios they showed off was, I mean, like you said, it's a benchmark, so they're mostly showing off like graphic capacity and how well it can run, shit like that. But even like the underwater area, I haven't seen that before, so that was really neat to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. You guys' thoughts?
I mean, I've run the benchmark, so I've seen it a few times now because I kept making characters and running them through it. And
Yeah.
it's just really neat. The like you kind of, you know, said the aesthetic going into this expansion, and I, you know, kind of said as well, I love how everything looks. They really have made a very aesthetically pleasing expansion so far. Everything I've seen is just visually awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so thrilled that they're just getting better and better at their craft, it seems like. So
Yeah, every time an expansion has come out for this game, and I've been playing since the beginning, since the original, fucking off and on. Yeah, I see expansion, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad there's a new expansion coming out. But every time I see this one, I'm like, this one looks pretty cool. There's something about it that you know, has me curious about it. So it's been kind of part of the reason I'm playing now outside of that black chocobo.
yeah, and Square's advertising the shit out of it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
They're spending money to get the word out. So
And they did a really good job graphically with, and I won't spoil anything, but portraying what's happening in the story, like with the monster design and the landscape design, and really showcases like what's happening at that point in the story and what's going on. It's really well done. It's just, if you know it, it's all these little hints where they're like, oh, this makes more sense.
Yeah, and intentional Easter eggs. Like you brought up the AF thing, and obviously I apparently missed that somehow. You know, that's something you can take away because they've really, I mean, they've shown them, but you know, you didn't really get to like see them in that sense. And then everyone's wearing their artifact gear, so
yeah,
kind of neat.
pretty fucking cool. Let us know in the comments what you think about what we just watched. And is there anything in there that we missed that you're like, hey, that is fucking cool as shit? Well, let us know. Next video we're gonna watch is the dungeon crawl video. We're gonna be reacting to that. And yeah, you said this is just showing off new dungeons.
Parts of them, they can't show off too much because the dungeons are very connected to the main story. So
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say before we hop into this?
no, I've seen this, so I don't want to say anything yet.
Same. Same.
Cool. All right, three. You ready, Chris?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and go. Sexual themes.
Use of alcohol. I better leave.
Uh-oh, this isn't good. Ooh, bad. It's the
Whatever.
opposite of good.
I need an adult.
It's too mature. It's the old mature bringers.
Even like look at the way the trees look and stuff. It's just really well designed. An outdoor dungeon. There are some in the game, but they definitely
That's pretty cool, though.
yeah.
I was
This
kind
one
of like a
definitely
game
doesn't seem
where
like
you
it has
used to...
like limits like other outdoor dungeons do.
Yeah. I'm used to a lot of games kind of sticking with this similar, like, you know, indoor theme or something like that. So it's always nice when you get something that's different.
Yeah, for sure. And then this is an abandoned building. Wow. Occupied, but not, I don't think, by the original people. So,
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Squatters.
there they are.
Luigi.
And then yeah, it goes into a mine shaft.
That's cool that it goes into multiple different places.
Love the lighting.
Yeah, it looks great.
This one makes me think of Coraline every time I see it.
Pay close attention to the background the whole time you're watching this too. There are a lot of shifts that happen.
This reminds me of fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah, during the boss fight, shit like that happens.
Yeah.
That's cool looking.
There's a dungeon I want you to see in 14. It's an upside down castle. It's very cool.
Oh yeah.
That game's got a lot of fucking content, man. I keep looking at like the amount of dungeons and minions and mounts and all this shit. I'm like, god damn.
Mini.
They've been supporting it for a while.
This is kind of like a, I'm sure you can tell visually, but more like a ruins appearance. I think kind of like Native American, or not Native American, but
like Mayan.
yeah, thank you.
I wonder if it's their version of the Allegans.
I don't know.
All these dungeons seem like they have
Hey,
a lot of
this-
different locations.
For sure.
that scene was like reminiscent of the opening for Secret of Mana with the pink birds flying by the trees.
Oh,
Hey!
how funny. This one's neat too because you see the face here, but there's going to be a really hard to miss thing coming up as part of the dungeon right there.
Splat.
Giant hand. And then this is very like Nier Automata looking.
Oh, yeah. A particular part of the game, yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, it turns very regal.
Yeah, it reminds me of Roman or Greek-esque like fantasy, of obviously, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna get some blips here of monsters slash bosses.
Cerberus. Cricket.
some
Man.
rowdy boys. Couple of you want to fuck on me's.
That's
That
very
is-
Kingdom Heartsy.
A
Oh,
nobody.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm ugly.
If I'm not mistaken though, that guy does design for pretty much every Square game all the time though, so
Yeah.
he's a busy dude.
There's just a certain theme to Kingdom Hearts visually that anytime I see something that's similar to it, I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That was really cool to watch. Almost every single thing I saw there was awesome looking. All looked like really cool dungeons to go through. And I mean, I can't wait to play that, but I'm pretty far out from being able to experience that shit. So
Yeah, but and I this I've emphasized to you, and if you're unfamiliar with the game, I have to emphasize it to everybody. This is a game you don't want to rush through because it is story driven. So play it at your own pace, and when you get to the content, you'll get there and enjoy it the same as anybody else. So
Yep.
Except
And once
for
you
when-
get there, we'll help you through it.
they'll all be done with it and be like, I don't want to do that.
that's not
You
true.
do it on your
That's
own.
not true at all.
You wait for 45 minutes, finding a group, playing that content. We don't play with noobs. That's how our Free Company is. We're very hardcore.
Yeah, false. Also, this video will explain why that 45-minute statement doesn't matter.
I've actually, not since the beginning of the game, have waited that long for a party, so that was an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I waited 15 minutes the other day.
The only time I ever wait that long is like, and I probably should be in bed, but 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning, I have a hard time getting.
That's any game though. If you're trying to get into a fucking match of a game, there's way less people at certain times.
I wait more than 2 minutes and start having a panic attack.
Oh Jesus!
Damn.
He's gotten spoiled though. He's used to like switching to tank, hitting Q, and it's like, here you go, and that has kind of stopped all of a sudden. So
Oh yeah, like
more-
makes sense
it
because you
seems like-
needed.
yeah, well, it seems like healers are getting faster Qs right now, and that is also our data center. So who knows?
And also where you guys are at, there's I guess less things to do or something. I obviously got like the dailies and shit, but like where I'm at, like fucking whenever I am waiting, I actually it's kind of nice because I go and do shit that I have like different quests lined up.
I got
and shit.
plenty to do. I could
Yeah.
be crafting or gathering or
So the only time it ever sucks is like if I need this dungeon to progress in the story, I'm like, okay, I gotta wait. But I always go and do side shit. So, anything else you guys want to say on that?
I love the
Dungeons are
dungeon
cool.
designs. I love that they have an outdoor one. It is something I definitely appreciate because it does get a little dull being indoors all the time. So it's a good change of scenery.
I love the fucking multiple of those dungeons. Started in a certain location and went to a different location. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, the further you get in the game, too, the variances in everything, they've just gotten better and better. I keep emphasizing that, but it's just true. The beginning of the game versus the end of the game, the skill of them creating content visually and play wise has just gotten better. So the writing, not necessarily so much. I feel it's been consistent. I'm not saying it's bad. I want to emphasize that the writing hasn't just got like an amazing though. I hope they do blow me away for sure.
That'd be cool.
So, but I've loved the story throughout the whole game. Even in 2.0, which you have to piece together because of the way they were fixing a broken game at the time.
Yeah.
It's still an interesting story. So,
That's what I said, man. I felt like I was starting the game almost once I got to the end of it.
yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of content there, but fucking like the game felt more structured and ready to build up to something.
When you're at the point where they literally did build everything. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't going, fuck, what do we do with this? We spent a lot of money making this and we can't just throw it away.
exactly.
Thoughts on the dungeons, Chris?
It's just, I'm always excited for new dungeons.
I like new content.
Shiv and I both have said that when the new dungeons come out, we're going in blind.
Yeah, I don't want to look at
No
these ones
guides.
up. I just want to go in.
That's how I prefer to do new content. Anytime I play something, especially when it first comes out, I don't want to know exactly how to do it. If you get to a wall and you're having an issue fucking getting through it, at that point, yeah, maybe look up some helpful tips or whatever. But yeah, it's I want to experience the fucking game and not just experience my progression while following other people's path, I
Yeah,
guess.
for sure.
So, anything else?
No.
All right, next video we are watching is the trust system explained by Mr. Happy 1227. Go subscribe to him or check him out at the very least if you want to hear somebody explain in greater detail.
He
stuff
is a
about-
detail guy.
I always hear his name, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure anybody watching this for this reason knows of him. But yeah, we're gonna watch that. He's gonna explain the trust system, first look, and yeah, ready, Chris?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and go. That creepy smile.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my video going over the new trust system being added to Final Fantasy XIV and the next expansion, Shadowbringers. This info and footage is coming to you from the North America media tour that I recently attended.
That
As
is
such,
the
things are subject
frog-
to change, and
one
I
of the
think
frog
they very
bosses
much will when
in
it
the
comes
first
to trust.
dungeon.
Whether it be behaviors or their stats, I actually think the trust menu itself and certain other things are probably going to see updates. So we'll put a disclaimer at the bottom that it's currently still in development, and let's get started. The trust system will allow players to run Shadowbringers main scenario dungeons with a group of NPCs. To access your trust, you must go to the duty option and select trust to bring up the menu, or keybind it to something in the options. In this menu, your current job is listed at the top left,
The menu
and a
looks
list
so
of
much more
trusts
modern.
filling out that party below. By clicking on their portraits on the right-hand side, you can add or remove the trust from their assigned roles. Vanguard was the only tank of the 5, Alisaie was a red mage, Minfilia was a rogue, Alphino was a scholar, and Urianger was an astro. Now, in
don't know that
previews of
one.
the trust system, we
Oh,
have
yeah, I
also
do.
seen that
He uses
Ishtola
a
is
hood.
supposed to be one of them,
Yeah.
who it is safe
I
to
remember
assume
the face
probably fills that 6th portrait slot and will likely be a black mage. It also has been stated we may get more trust options in the future, which is why I think this
I would
menu
hope
is
they'd add
probably
more
going to
NPCs
change
to
somewhere
that.
down the line.
Yeah.
On top of that,
If
this
the
menu
system's
didn't
well
have the
received, I really
ability
hope they
to
expand
change
upon
the
it.
dungeon we wanted to access, and while that's likely because the build was only built with this singular dungeon in mind, I'd assume that the top right of this menu is going to look a bit different when we actually see it on launch. Another thing this menu lists is the level of the trust. Now, there's no indication anywhere that they need to be leveled, so I'd assume it's just a visual aid to let you know what level they are capped at, so you know what skills they have available. I mean, maybe you need to level them, but I don't think so. It's probably just the visual aid. Once you have selected your party, press register for duty, and you're off. Remember that the only duties that have been confirmed so far for this feature are Shadowbringers main scenario dungeons. I wouldn't be
they
surprised to
may
see it
expand.
extended to other dungeons or instances
I would hope so.
eventually, but that's all I can say with certainty. Once in the dungeon, the trusts act completely autonomously of your influence. You won't need to micromanage them like you do squadrons,
so
and their
nice.
decision making is actually a nice step up from the squadron system as well. The tank trust will engage enemies once you are close enough or when you attack them. Probably best to just let them go in first. He even automatically attempted to face them away
He's
after
also
a
playing
few
Dancer right
DCDs,
now if you wanna
and
see
was
some
dodging
visuals for that.
AoEs. The healer trusts alternate between their offensive and defensive
cool
skills
looking,
decently
really
enough,
flashy.
with Urianger especially throwing out Astro cards all the time. I would not advise doing a wall-to-wall pull though. They aren't that good. The DPS trusts take care of the basics, though the overall DPS of trust is certainly lower than that of other players. It's not like they're trying to hit a skill every GCD, they just kind of hit them occasionally. They also appear to take a bit less damage from enemies as well. At least Minfilia also lands Trick Attack. Overall, I was pretty happy with the trust performance in the dungeon. They dodge AoEs, do mechanics properly, and they even have a bit of idle chit-chat with you and each other. There's also some
pretty cool.
interesting interactions with the encounters. The final encounter of this dungeon I tested them in, Don Meg, had some pretty funny ones, especially towards the end. Now, the trusts aren't perfect though, but that's probably by design. Thancred often took a few GCDs to do any AoE abilities, so a lot of the times mobs got loose. He also was seemingly inefficient at properly interrupting abilities. There's only a few, but I don't think he interrupted any of them. Trusts also tend to stop attacking when performing certain mechanics, or when they are role-playing out certain portions of the fight. It's entertaining, but it's certainly less efficient. I actually quite liked the final execution of it by the time I was done with the dungeon though, as it clearly shows why these things would be faster with other players, while offering an immersive alternative with these characters on its own. For anyone who has any sort of social anxiety, or just doesn't have a lot of time and may not want to wait for a queue, or even someone looking to learn the dungeon from the movements that the trusts actually use. It's good for
Yeah,
all those things.
that's
And I never felt like I was at
good point.
danger of losing because of the trust performance outside of pulling wall to wall. It was really just the boss fights. They relied on me to do my part correctly, and by watching them, I could easily discern that. Another little thing I noticed that Minfilia would never use the limit break, but Alice would swoop right in on the final boss and use it right away.
Yeah, they have
I'm not sure if this
personalities,
is
so
random
it's
or
kinda
just
neat.
based on these characters' general behaviors. Definitely sounds like an Alice thing. Either way,
Man,
the
what the
system was
fuck's
fun to
wrong
use,
there?
but hopefully it doesn't lead to a ton of people trying to create solo instances day one and give us our good old Raubon Ultimate. Please. But that's going to be a wrap for my thoughts on the trust system. If you have any questions, be sure to throw them in the comment section. I don't think there's anything I forgot to mention, but you may disagree. So just go ask me there and I'll do my
You
best.
forgot, goddammit!
Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. Check out all the other videos from the media tour that I have posted today. I'll see you all next time, and until then, take care.
Bye.
Yeah, so you get main scenario characters as NPCs. They are programmed to do everything without you having to do anything to them, and they have personalities. So, like he brought up, Minfilia would not use the limit break so that you could, but Alice would just take it from you. As soon as it's ready, she'll limit break. Alice also will occasionally miss mechanics, versus like other NPCs are really good about dodging them. So they're intentionally, she's a reckless person in the game, and they made her reckless. And it's really kind of neat because it does add that level of immersion to the story aspect of the game. The other thing, I don't know if he mentioned it in that video. I know he said something about the time, but I had read or heard from someone else that the dungeons take about half an hour with the trusts versus like playing with people probably closer to 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
So just some points out there. But thoughts on the system?
I think it's really cool. One thing I've been saying for a while when it comes to this game, I'm sure people agree, but like this is one of the only MMOs I've played that actually kind of feels, and it is a Final Fantasy. It's the 14th one, obviously. But this game always, or a lot of the time, feels like a single player JRPG to me, and at some points, and then I play with people. So like adding this system kind of like concretes that in the sense, obviously you can use this system for wherever you want. I think the biggest thing is there's some people who don't like to play with random people, or you don't want to wait for that fucking queue. But they talk to each other. There's interactions happening when you play with these guys, and to me that reminds me of when you're playing almost any JRPG with a fucking party like that's on the map at the same time with you. Those interactions and stuff, you get that feeling of a single player game, and that I think it's kind of neat because it's a new way to experience the dungeons you've already played. For whatever reason you're doing it, you're experiencing it differently that way, and it might take longer. There is an incentive to still play with people who know what they're doing, but there's options, and there's interesting options, not just, well, you can do this if you have to. It's like, this is a different way to play it, and it's really neat, and I would love to see them expand on it and add new NPCs and add this to all the dungeons eventually, which I feel like they would do. It would only make sense to do that. So I think it's awesome. You know, I don't know how often I'd be using it, but I feel like there's some diehard players out there who might go through every dungeon like this just to say that they did it, just to see what happens, see the interactions, see how the NPCs play versus actual people. And he made a great point too, and he said, you know, you might want to get used to the dungeon and see how, you know, they play their roles and stuff like that without playing with people at first. It is a good way to do that. It's almost like a practice run or something, even though it does count. So all in all, I think it's a great new system.
I think it'll also be good for leveling alternate jobs later.
Sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because if you're me, you know, and you stay up way too late and the queue times are really bad, that's exactly what the system's there for. You could still get in there and do it. Right now they're doing an event where you have to do a bunch of old content to get these seals to buy rewards, and I kind of got tired of queuing up for it, so I was doing the squadrons, which is the current version of NPCs in the game. So and I finished it out that way. It was slower, but I didn't have to wait either in between dungeons. So
This is just like a direct upgrade from what squadrons are currently,
100%.
which is really nice to see. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with squadrons, whether they're just going to kind of leave them in the dirt, or if they're going to kind of have some like kind of incorporation of your squadron into this system. I think would be really nice to see, but who knows? And then this is something that I would probably run the same dungeon over and over again, just with different team comps, just to see how they would chit chat with each other. You want to find those weird interactions and see what they say. And it just seems a fun and easy way to learn dungeons without the pressure, like you said, of having other people be like, "Why don't you know this already? You did this mechanic wrong." Blah 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 blah.
We're playing with people who might suck, and then you don't have to be that person.
yeah. Well, it's funny too because, and I'm going to quote Mr. Happy a little bit on this one. He has said there's you know, people who are just not good at playing games, right? And they just, it's gonna happen.
There's different skill levels for sure.
And it's his point. He's like, and so, it makes it accessible to them. And obviously, people get concerned with like games becoming more casual. Well, there's different types of becoming more casual, right? If the game still offers hardcore content for hardcore players, but also offers accessibility for people to be able to play the game, there's no losing there. That's
Sure,
win-win.
because the hardcore stuff's still there, and the people who want that are going to go for that. They're not going to go for the easy shit if they're interested in that. I know plenty of people who want to do like, oh, I did this, I beat this, blah, blah, blah. But then, yeah, there's people who don't give a fuck about that at all. They just want to play the game. They want to experience the story. They want to level their character.
Hang
Maybe
out
they
with
want
their
to
friends.
ease into playing with people.
Buy a house.
Yep.
Run a bar.
And it'll retain those players later on too, because sometimes the hardcore players get tired of doing hardcore stuff. They just kind of like ease out into something more, casual. And sometimes the casual players
vice
want to
versa.
dive into that harder
Yep.
stuff.
It's just another option, which is, I think, always good, as long as it doesn't cheapen the experience. It doesn't
100%.
offer the easier, better route of getting something done.
And the trust is a hit or miss system for sure, because you can get the content done, but it's going to take longer. It's not going to be as efficient.
And he said you do still have to play a role. They're not going to carry you through it, which is
Right.
really cool. So, because it would kind of suck if you could just like, I was going to follow these guys while I'm on my phone or something.
Pretty much.
Right.
So, Yeah, all in all.
I know the squadron system, and I don't know if it's the same with trust system, obviously. But squadron system, bosses will only use mechanics on you, so you can't AFK it. They go, "You're the player. You're gonna be the one dancing." So
It makes some of the dungeons
interesting.
very difficult.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like it would be rough.
yeah. And squadrons versus NPC or versus trust, the squadron system has a micromanagement system. So there's an attack button, a don't attack button, and use the limit gauge button. So you have to like go, okay, stop attacking, get out of that. So those
There's more input involved, less AI.
yes. So that's a huge upgrade that they are smart enough to get out of.
So hopefully they can
bad.
just replace it all with the trust system,
Which would
and
be
maybe
awesome.
phase out squad, or
Yeah.
squadron.
Yeah,
Whatever the fuck
that
it's
would be
called.
great. So squadrons.
I don't know. Shit. All right. Anything else?
No.
Looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a good new feature. Let us know in the comments what do you think about the new trust system. Last video we're gonna watch is the job actions video for Shadowbringers. It's gonna be showing move sets essentially for the jobs, new moves, stuff like that. The one I will be watching for sure is the machinist, because I am now playing that and I'd like to know what the new class essentially they'll be adding to that is.
Yeah. So and this is a visual tour. So there's no information on the screen. They're not going to tell you what the moves are and what they do and stuff
We're gonna
like
be
that.
reacting.
Yeah. Like I said, throughout the video, there are people who have done full breakdowns. So if you're interested in a specific class, or you see something really flashy during this, even you're like, I want to know more about that. There's people out there who have done that. So you should definitely watch those.
Yeah. You ready, Chris?
I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. Uh-oh, more sexual shit.
Ah!
Too much.
My
too
virgin
much,
eyes.
Too much Final Fantasy sex happening.
It's the real Final Fantasy.
Yob actions.
Gunbreaker.
In other languages.
So now you can see what they look like. During the
Dive
fighting.
in.
Let's see.
What was that?
That was giving a move or buff or something. There's
Okay.
a shield for an ally right there. Melee attack. One more AoE, prior combo.
I know a lot of the moves are named after the limit breaks from Final Fantasy VIII.
That was fucking cool. He swung multiple times, and when he stabbed forward, he shot through him. Yeah.
Bard.
I am the bird.
And someone had brought it up to in Discord at one point, but that bow is 2 horns.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That guy's just getting cardio in, man.
Oh yeah.
He's just fucking.
Wait till you see Ninja and Monk. I mean, you play Monk a little, but you haven't seen a max level
yeah.
Monk.
But Monk ain't jumping 10 feet in the air and fucking playing guitar and shit.
How you going, baby? Oh, so cool looking.
Chevalier Dragon. Chevalier is a horse rider, I thought.
So much flash.
Oh yeah.
That was cool looking. This is the one with the fucking teleporter?
The very big jump.
Yeah.
The rings, yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking jump gate.
The animation is out of an encounter, which I'm blanking on, and people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, you freaking noob." I'm pretty sure it was Nidhogg, but the jumps are so fast now.
They're so much faster.
That was cool. There it is.
Yeah, that was really cool looking.
Summon the Stargates.
Black Mage. I'm not even gonna try the German version. Ley lines.
Ley lines.
I'm so ignorant of this class. I just know you stand in that circle and you nuke things.
Seems pretty
Hey.
simple. It's so weird going from monk to fucking machinist though, because like I'm so not used to
Standing?
standing back shooting at shit. like I said earlier, like when the circles like come out and you gotta get out of them, I'm already out of them.
Yep.
So I'm just like, what do I do? I feel bad. I'm like, they're doing so much. I feel like I'm doing nothing.
Eventually, bosses will have donuts instead of circles, and they're meant for you to move instead
Oh, yeah.
of the melee.
Yeah.
Oh, I experienced them on fucking Titanium.
Yeah. Actually,
Guy was yelling at us, like, get in the circle. I was like, all right.
I like the animations for this one.
Yeah.
Very flashy. What is this?
The astrologian, they draw cards for buffs. You also are trying to hit certain emblems to get a bigger card.
So you're fucking gambling?
Kinda. They've simplified it a lot more.
I don't like inconsistency.
I mean, the main role's healer, so I
Yeah.
mean, they do that. So they just don't heal. And
This
I
is the
could be.
one I like.
Really fucking cool animations, though.
No, they're
All the planets.
yeah, they're fun to watch.
What's that building on the back?
That's a dungeon or a
pretty
town.
cool.
I don't know, but yeah. Samurai.
Oh, look at Chevy.
Yeah.
Samurai.
Not a lot of changes here for any samurai players. Just a couple additions. The playstyle remains intact. So
Who's that move with all the things?
that allows you to use the end of your combos without going through the combos. So you can use the end moves to get these marks, like blanking on the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you spend the tokens on finishers, and then this is added second finisher immediately
That's cool
after.
looking.
So, and then meditate, which they originally would fill this bar up only, but now they've added moves to it. So now there's a reward for like waiting a second and doing a move.
Warrior.
Yo, Krieger, dude.
You see how they look like berserkers. A lot of the moves are like stone and fire and like looking. So
I got beef.
they are beef. There's the shield, shielding an ally move.
That's the new one, the AoE twirl.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool, yeah.
They've been top
Fell
tank for
cleave.
so long though.
Fell cleave.
Yeah, it's like people were like, oh yeah, this is what they wanted. This is their damage. I believe it's a big damage move, but you can just spam the shit out of it now.
Red
Pretty
mage.
straightforward to play.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Man, why are they fucking so far out
They're
there?
casters.
Uh-huh.
Goddamn. Just
They're
a
actually-
dot out there.
They're hybrid. They cast and they do melee.
So they have an orb in one hand and a rapier in the other, and then they
Cool.
hold the rapier upside down and put the orb on top, and that's the staff.
Huh.
And then when they go in, it's a rapier like that.
They do their little combo.
Goro.
And you backflip out and you go back to the caster again.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
They're
kinda
fun.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Monk.
Oh yeah. The old munch.
Pretty flashy.
God, they move so much.
Yeah, when I start playing other ones, I'm like, oh, everybody doesn't move like this. Okay.
And then they got their own like meditative move.
Yeah. See, some of these I don't know if they're new or if I'm just not far enough to have seen them yet. Fucking, I recognize a lot of them too. Not that one.
Kamehameha.
Howard
I'm interested. I don't play tank, but there's some moves in here that make me interested in paladin.
I feel that's a very universal word. Every
Yeah.
fucking language is paladin.
Like that's cool looking.
See what it is about paladins with this expansion is they remind me of Agrias from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
She's like one of my favorite characters.
Lightning strike. Boom. Boom. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're cool looking.
Self heal, I think. Boom! Big sword out of the ground.
Hey, look, here's my other class.
Ninja, another non-sitting still job.
Yeah, I don't know shit about ninja.
They're very
Actually, it looks like they have a lot of sitting still now with how they can do ninjutsus.
cool. You can do a lot of casting. It looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look how fast they're doing things.
I
though.
love the way the fire looks.
It is pretty fast.
I think their button presses are going to be probably the fastest.
just for the ninjutsu ones, they're the fast. They're really
After-
fast.
So cool.
Yeah, they look neat.
See, I'm tempted to level my ninja first because I really enjoyed it.
Are they just DPS? What are they?
Yeah, they're
they
just
do a lot.
DPS.
Well, they used to. It's getting taken away from them now, but they did a lot of supportive stuff too. Hey, it's my healer.
Flowers for
I
you.
knew.
This scenery, especially the clouds and shit in the background, are really fucking cool looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I should be looking at her and fucking what she's doing. But I was like, wow, this
It's
place
hard
is
to
crazy.
take away what the casters are doing without playing them, though. You know.
Get your own wings now.
Yeah, it doesn't move to get you wings.
It's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of those things you guys had on. Those
Boom, big nuke.
Oh.
That nuke is you fill. That's what your flower gauge got turned into.
Oh, right.
Builds up to that nuke. Scholar, another healer. They use a fairy to help them heal.
and every job is so fucking different.
Different. Yeah.
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 They did a really good job
great.
with that. All, like they don't even like seem remotely the same.
This is new.
Yeah, they changed the fairy into a sylph. Or sylph? I might have that wrong.
What actually hangs out?
Temporarily, it's a buff for your fairy.
It's like summoners when they turn their pets into Bahamut.
Yeah, Bahamut or Phoenix is temporary. Bye. And then your normal one comes back.
Oh, look. Speaking of the
Summoner.
dong,
This is probably my favorite caster. But it's very involved.
yes. Although I think they've reduced that in this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Akmorn. Akmorn.
Where'd you go?
It's temporary.
Bye, bitch.
And then the gauge changed. And then the new toy, Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
They also made major changes to the pet's actions. They're no longer a separate bar. Here you go.
Here you go.
Yeah, all the new moves look fucking awesome.
Bioblaster. Flamethrower.
Flamethrower.
Could not see that one. Chains.
So, I don't know if you noticed yet, but they're taking a lot of influence from Prompto from 15 for Gunner.
Well, it's also a lot I thought out of Final Fantasy 5. There's the buddy.
Oh yeah.
Ricochet
Yeah, this
shot.
looks so different than what I'm doing right now.
It is.
I listened to Mr. Hatter talking about it. I think it was him a little
drill.
bit. Saying that essentially it's like a couple moves stayed, but other than that, it's almost like
It's
a
a new
completely
job.
new fucking job.
Yeah, even their gauges do different things now.
Yeah, it looked different, yeah.
Dancer.
Kind of glad I'm getting to try them out before they change them, because now I know what it was like.
Yeah, pick your dancing partner. And then you can see the Simon game down here. They're doing it right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then finisher. And both people get the buff. Yeah, they're very supporty. It's very cool though.
I'm excited for it.
Everyone is. I think
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that was the first thing out of this expansion that I even noticed. I was like, oh shit, that's really cool.
Gap closer. Yeah, so they have melee ranged and ranged stuff.
Yeah, baby.
This is Chris's tank, Dark Knight. Also the poster child of the expansion.
Yeah. That's a new move.
You want to be broody? This is it.
It's cool looking.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me of Nightmare from Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The darkness.
Oh, that's cool.
They timed that so well.
Yeah.
Bye. There you go.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's a very flashy game. If this
Oh,
is
yeah.
your first time watching.
Man, that was pretty dull.
One thing I really appreciate about Final Fantasy 14 when it comes to their animations and where they've gone with them and stuff when it comes to the combat is all MMOs need to have visuals that differentiate the moves, and of course people are going to want them to look good or whatever, but a lot of times they're just like colors that flash a lot and like beams and fireballs and shit like that, and that's fine. And that's actually something that turns me off a lot from a lot of MMOs that I played in the past. I played a lot of them, and fucking if the moves start not they don't start evolving into something better looking, you know, if the progression's fine enough, I'll keep playing. But a lot of times I'm like, this is kind of boring to look at. That game though, like it's not. When you look at it, there's a lot of flashing and shit going on, a lot of crazy shit, a lot of flashy stuff going on. But at the same time, there's a lot of like really detailed animations that they've put into that. The Astrologian, whatever the fuck it's called, that was like a lot of shit going on. All of them have very distinct, and of course you can make the argument for any MMO, they have distinct moves or whatever, but they're very detailed to what the style of that job is, and it's
Even down to sound cues.
at the very least, even if you don't even play the game, it's something I think most people can appreciate, that they're really trying to differentiate every single one of the jobs to make them feel unique, and I think they nail it, because watching each one of those, even if I wasn't playing the game, I still enjoyed seeing the animations and their moves and stuff. They're very different.
Yeah.
None of those seem the same to me.
No, speaking on that, just out of like you're playing the game, even earlier, right before we started filming, I was running with Chris through a dungeon, and I happened to sneak in a instant cast Holy, and he didn't necessarily see it, but he's like, I heard that Holy. So like he knew that I had casted it. So that is obviously a little more of an obvious spell. It's the only thing that sounds like it, but it was still in the middle of all the combat happening. He knew that I had casted Holy. So usually can also tell when I use a seize, because everything around me just dies in the low dungeons at that point. But
Yeah.
It was just kamikazes himself into it.
yeah, if I get close, I'm probably getting ready to use a seize.
Is that weird ball thing that you do?
I just like rotate, and a bunch of like lines basically come out of me, and it does healing, mana regen, and damage.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
but it's on a cooldown, so I can't just spam it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be ridiculous if you could do that.
I love that move.
Yeah, overall in that video specifically, I think, you know, everything I saw was awesome. That made me interested in a lot of classes or jobs that I almost don't even think I knew existed. And but specifically, I've been curious about playing the Machinist for a while, and I am playing now, but also just like all the new moves, really exciting to me to be able to play what I think Mr. Happy said was finally, it feels like they've nailed something with this, because I know they've been struggling to try and carve out something interesting with that job, and so I'm glad to hear that I think they did it. And from my perspective on what I'm seeing, I think it looks really cool. It is definitely up my alley, but a lot of those look really cool, and I know they added a lot of new moves, which is really exciting for anybody who's playing the game to have just like all these different things added to the jobs you already know and love. You know, fine tuning is really important, not to really compare the two, but like, you know, Warframe constantly does a good job at like remaking systems, 2.0 this, 2.0 that, and changing things that aren't fun or don't work. And, you know, I think any developer, you know, that's worth, you know, anything will do that, but some people don't. They're not willing to restructure shit. They're just gonna change some numbers in the code and hope you'll be fine with it. But this, it's a flashy ass game, so for them to redo a class and add whole new moves and stuff like that, it's really cool. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and well, especially in like the MMO space, I think what you're really going to notice too is the difference between a free-to-play MMO, which are great games, don't get me wrong, versus a premium, pay-to-play MMO. You're seeing where the money's going.
Yeah,
Right.
I used to, and I still think the market, even though this game is arguing against my argument because they're doing fine. For the most part, though, I don't think you can really get away with doing subscription-based MMOs anymore. And I used to argue with Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, you'd be like, well, they support it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but every MMO people support. But, taking this long of a break and coming back and seeing the amount of shit they've added to the game, at least they did use that money. They have been adding shit to it. The game has gotten huge. There's a lot to it. So, I think that kind of is a good counter to my original argument. I wouldn't make that argument anymore just because they have supported the game like a motherfucker more than a lot of games.
And they have a very strict schedule for releasing content.
Yeah,
So
which is important.
Like for example, Shadowbringers is going to come out. We're going to get 2 weeks to just kind of play through, get used to the jobs, play through the story. If you're rushing, obviously you don't have to do
Or
any
if
of
you're
this.
Russian.
And then in 2 weeks, the raid comes out. And so everyone will get to start doing the raid and getting used to that and getting geared out of that. And then 2 weeks after that, the Savage mode will come out, which is I'm doing endgame content
Yo,
thing.
it's my mode.
So I
I'm
don't
Savage,
I don't really
baby.
do Savage too much. I'm definitely more in the casual ballpark in that regard.
Yep.
I like doing the raid for the visual aspect and the story part, but I like that they offer usually an artifact and relic quest to get endgame gear without having to do that, because for me it's more about just kind of playing the game. I'm not trying to find 7 other people that can play at the same exact time as me every day, and that is fun. I used to do it in the past, when I was younger and worked part-time, but now that's really hard for me to do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the game lets you do both. Also, a fun little information for in case you're not in the combat stuff. I have to say as well, the game has crafting and gathering, and they are full games in themselves. You're not just clicking a button and making something. You have moves. You
Yeah,
have
it's
to
a whole
make
thing on its
things,
own.
and then they're adding an end game scenario in Shadowbringers for crafters and gatherers as well. So,
Oh, really?
full game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. I mean, that's not for me, but fucking, I know people who love crafting, so.
But it's a little for me.
Yeah.
I have max level crafting and gathering. So
That's cool. There's something to look forward to with that.
yeah.
Chris, thoughts on that video?
Well, I've seen it before, but it's nice to see that they're continuing to not be afraid to change classes, as they see fit and as like the player base has asked for. Like in the past, Bard I think has gone through the most changes of classes. I
Pretty
could be wrong.
consistently. Yeah.
But almost every expansion they've become a different class almost.
Yeah, this is the first time they got subtle changes because
So-
they kind of got the flow down of it now.
Right. Because in the first one they were definitely like arranged with like support skills, and then in the Heaven's Word they were casters, which was really really odd. It kind of changed their playstyle altogether.
Oh, that's weird that they changed it that much.
Yeah, you couldn't move while doing your moves and stuff like that.
Yeah, they changed it almost entirely, and then they went back to it in Stormblood because they heard the players complaining about it. And they offer a few supports, but not a lot of support. And then I know from what I've heard in the next expansion, they're going to be kind of, as far as like DPS for ranged cast, DPS is going to be middle, and they're going to offer a little bit of support, but not a lot.
Yeah. I think the idea is that machinist out of the ranged physical will be the heavy damage, less support.
Yep.
Yeah, Bard will be in the middle and Dance will be more on the support side. So could be wrong. Please correct me if I am. So
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with all these classes and what other stuff they're going to add to it. And it's just exciting.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so is there anything else you guys want to add closing this out for Shadowbringers coming up very soon?
The only thing I want to add is, and I've seen it happen a couple times now, where people will join and they want to play with their friends, and I get that mentality 100%. I do think it is very important to not treat Final Fantasy 14 the same way you treat most other MMOs and try to just rush in and do the end game content. I think the experience of the story in 14 is really its biggest shining point. And they don't get me wrong, they do a great job on end game content. So there is that raid scene if you are interested, but I do think it is worth taking your time, and at whatever pace you want, obviously, but take your time, actually experience the story. It is good. If you really just don't care, they do offer, you have to pay for it, but you can skip to play the expansion.
Yeah, so. I was going to emphasize that as well, regardless of, if somebody agrees with you or not, or takes out your advice or not. If they do want the option to skip over it, it's there. Yeah. So you can do that as well.
Like
don't let that stop you.
Yeah. It's like, and it goes on sale sometimes too.
Because there are people who just do not have the attention span to get through that. And if you want them to play it, I think it'd be a smart option for someone like that. There's people who just will not sit through it.
Yeah, and it's offered. So, and it will get you right to where you can, day one, you can play Shadowbringers. You don't have to play the rest if you don't want to. So, obviously your preference. I just personally, as someone who plays MMOs and plays story-driven games, I think this game offers both, and you should do both.
I think it's more of a story-driven game than it is an MMO. It's absolutely an MMO, 100%. Yeah. That's what it is. But they emphasize the story so much that it will actually stop you in your progress.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's definitely, they want to tell you that story. You need to do it the way they want you to do it. So
you're gonna sit down and you're gonna listen to my story.
Pretty much,
yeah. Anything else?
I mean, I'll be easy to find on Friday. I took the day off from work. I'm going to sit down and play the game all day. So
join us in our free company, Tasty Gaming. Coral on Crystal.
Yeah.
Join our fucking clan and let's dominate everything.
Clan. You want to join my clan?
Except we're super casual.
Guild. Fucking grouping, a murder of TLG crew people.
Although it's a small group, there's usually someone on too.
Yeah.
There's Chevy or I or Rob
players.
Or somebody.
Yeah.
And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all the things that we watched? What do you think about those job changes? What do you think about Shadowbringers? Are you excited for it? Are you going to be playing it day one? Are you not playing at all? Did you not even know this is coming out? Are you interested in playing this? Are you not interested in playing this? Have you played this before? And if you don't play it now, why don't you do that? Let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Final Fantasy 14 and Shadowbringers in the comments below. That's going to do it for this preview for Shadowbringers. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out me and Chris on Twitch, and only Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. That's me. Tasty_fruit. That's Chris. We got our streaming rights revoked for like 90 days on YouTube. So if you want to watch my streams, you got to go to Twitch. Tasty Senpai.
Thanks, Ubisoft.
Yeah, thanks Ubisoft. It's their fucking fault.
Ubi.
Still love you, but still that's fucked up. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And we have a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time, about whatever the fuck you want, for the most part. And I want to apologize for technical difficulties we've had in this episode. You guys understand, but just want to say it. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until the next episode, which should be Tasty Tuesday, have a good weekend, guys, or week, and take it easy.